Alright, I have this Craftsman riding lawnmower, t2200. Got it in. As you see, it won't turn all the way over. It acts like dead battery. It's not dead battery. It's not the starter. This is a 2017. It's in the valves. Needs to be adjusted. So I'll be showing you today how to adjust the valves on it to get it ready to start. Alright, first thing we're going to do is get this hood off. So we want to open it up, find the light wire, and then disconnect it. It should just wiggle apart. Now on this hood, should be about closing it halfway. It should come up. Some of them are like that, some of them are not. So we're going to see here in a minute. Oh, this one's different. And let me adjust you a little bit better. All right, now right here, there's a pin or a keeper. You got to pull that off, grab your washer. And then this hood should slide if you somewhat close it a little bit. Slide to yourself, it should just slide right off. Pretty easy and simple, nothing hard. All right, now we're going back to the front. All right, first thing we want to do next is we want to take the spark plug wire off and take that spark plug out, which it's a 5/8 socket for spark plug. Mine is. I want to get that off. We got to take that out, find top, dead center. Alright, next what we want to do is I want to take the valve cover off. That's 3/8 socket. Maybe on there, a little stuck on there, so you may want to tap on it to get it come loose. Alright, now this was siliconed on, so I had to kind of give it a good, with a screwdriver. What I did is, see, I was real careful. I put a screwdriver right here, and I took a hammer and tapped on it, pried. It knocked it loose. Now, you want to have, let's see, to be red RTV silicone high temp to put back on there to reseal this. If not, it'll leak really bad here and drip onto this and make it smoke real bad. And then you'll be thinking, well, there's something wrong with the mower. Alright, find this all out now. As you see, this side right here, as everything's moving, that would be one. And then there's a relaxed side. So when that piston comes back up, it's not doing nothing. And it leaves everything there. Which, as you see, my pin moved. As soon as my pin stops, before it starts going back in, was right there. You'll feel like a clicking before it goes back in. You want to make sure it's right there. That will be top dead center. That would make these both relax right here. And then, all right, and then you need filler gauges, which the top one is, I'm trying to get you the video of it, right there, 006. That would be your top one, which that one is pretty good. You just want a little tension on it, and I feel it, it's good. Now your bottom one is right here, 004, and as you can see how much plays in that. There's no like restriction, so that's the one that's giving us the problem. That's why it won't crank over, so we need to get that adjusted. All right, so you need a T15 star wrench like this. And then you need a 16 millimeter wrench. You put your wrench on here. The big nut is what adjusts your valves, and your T20 T Allen wrench is what tightens the nut up so it don't move. So we want to go ahead and loosen the Allen wrench T15 up. Then what you want to do is keep your wrench in your hand. You want to put your filler gauge in there. Make sure it's the 004. Put it between the seat of the valve and the rocker. And you want to tighten it up, not too tight. You want to make it feel like there's a little like restriction. Normally, it kind of sets there like that. You want to make sure it moves. If it doesn't move, that's kind of tight, which that's kind of right there. As you see, that's pretty close. So I'll put the wrench back on there, and I'm going to tighten that T15 screw back down to make sure that nut don't move. And that should pretty close get it right you need to be at. Alright, so we've done the bottom one. So we're going to do the top one too. It's got a little play to it, so I want to go ahead and adjust that. So we want to go ahead and lock it loose. Tighten it up a little bit. Once you know, like I said, it's right there where it's staying, and I can still pull on it. It's not pulling too hard. You want to make it feel like it's like a magnet, I guess. So, yeah, see, it kind of fell down. Which I might tighten it up. That's too loose. Like I said, all you gotta do is turn that big nut. And there. We're gonna go ahead and tighten that down, holding the big nut in place where it doesn't move. And we pull that out. Alright, and if you adjust the valves and you put your spark plug back in, and it still don't want to turn over with the starter, it still locks up in that same spot, just leave it there. And right here on this one, I had to tighten it up a little bit. As you see, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't releasing right, so I adjusted this one. I tightened it where it would grab that valve right then and there. I don't know how to really explain it, but I just tightened it where it started pushing onto this valve. And what it does, it releases so it spins and starts over. As you see, right there would be dead center on the compression side. Once I start spinning it, you see how it starts sucking it in. What it does, it releases and lets that out. I don't really know what to tell you. Is just all I did is I tightened it just enough where you feel a tightness of it. This one's saying loose, but that's fine. And as like I told you, it's how I adjust it. Now watch, so I crank it over and it cranks over. What that does, it releases so where it spins over and not want to lock up on you for compression wise. I'm trying to get you the video of, you know, when you spin this motor, you can see that right there how it starts sucking in. That would be the one you want to adjust. If it's really loose before it starts sucking in, get it right, it tightens up to there. And then it will start up then. I already did it. Sometimes, you know, I don't know, I'll adjust the valves and that don't work, so I just go ahead and get to that point where it locks up at, and then I just suck this one in a little bit, and it usually works. I don't know why, but alright, we're going to go ahead and get the spark plug wire put back on. If you want, I don't suggest it, but you can see if it'll start up without the valve cover being on. But I wouldn't do that if I were you, because it spurts oil all over the place. As you see, I just cranked it over a little bit, and you see the oil already dripping down here on the exhaust. You kind of don't really want that, because that could potentially start a fire. So we're going to clean all this oil off. and then we're going to clean the valve cover off, and we're going to go ahead and silicone that with high temp RV silicone, and put this back on. I decided to use a little bit of brake cleaner to get some of that oil sprayed off around there. You want to definitely make sure you clean it really good so you don't have no oil, so you know it seals, even on your valve cover. So once you get all that sprayed off and you're comfortable where you think you got enough oil away from there so it seals good. As I said, you don't want that going on that exhaust. All you see is smoke and it just disappoints you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put silicone on this. And you don't need a lot, just a real thin coat. I put a little thick there, so I'm going to go ahead and smooth that out a little bit. And you can go ahead and scrape the old off you want. Normally I don't. It just helps seat everything in better. And you see, just go around and just... And like I said, it don't need to be thick. Just enough to seal it, and that's about it. You don't want it too thick so it gets inside the valves and mess things up. So remember that. Do not get it too thick where it goes inside the valves or inside the motor and destroy your motor. I tried, like I said, I tried to get you the best video of how to really get that adjusted. It does start and run. If you want, put the valve cover on there before you put the gasket back on there, or put your silicone back on, just to see if it'll start. So you're not spraying all oil all over the place. I'm going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and get everything put back on. Now when you go do this, don't start this right away once you put this silicone on there. Let it sit there and harden a little while, about 15-20 minutes before you start it up. You know, I already test run this one. Like I said, I put the valve cover on there to see if it'll start up, and it does. So that's why I already go ahead and showing you how to put the silicone on. And go ahead and tighten them down. Like I said, that stuff goes a long ways. I don't know if you can see it, but once I tighten it down, it kind of oozed out a little bit. Lets it fine a little bit, but you don't want tons of it, because if it's oozing out on the outside, you know what it's doing on the inside. So that's why I tell you, just don't overdo it. So now we just got to wait for about 15 minutes before we go any farther to even starting it. So yeah, I'm hoping this video helps someone. Like I said, when I started adjusting the valves, when I had this problem where it wouldn't want to still crank over and it kind of frustrated me, I learned just to go to the compression side, and it'd be the top one that starts pulling in. It wasn't doing it, so I tightened it where it was hitting the valve, and then it just works fine. I'm hoping this video helps someone. I tried to show and describe everything best I can. So I'm still got a few more minutes to wait for this to dry up. So I'm going to bring you over to the side, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you how to put the hood back on. And it goes on these two rods here. You want to line them up. Make sure you get them both lined up with the holes. So you want that hood all the way open when you do that to get these lined up to there. Get your washer and your pin. Goes right there. And then through that hole. Don't forget to hook your lights back up. And there you go. It's all put back together. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.